Hello, everyone, and welcome back to King's Advisors. As you can tell from the background, we're going to be reacting to the Fallout trailer from Amazon Prime. Now, I haven't played the Fallout games. I've watched gameplay, and I kind of know what they're about, but good friend Daimyo here has played several of them. And so he'll definitely be able to provide a much more educated opinion on the Fallout series, or at least this trailer.
Slightly educated.
Slightly educated. Yeah. So before we get into this, I do want to say, if you've played any of the Fallout games, please let us know which ones you have played. Which one's your favorite? I know that New Vegas is supposed to be the fan favorite, and I do know that the latest 76 is supposed to be the least favorite. So if you have any opinions about the games themselves, Bethesda in general, all that, relatively big Bethesda fan, feel free to comment below and let us know what you think. But without further ado, here we go with the trailer and hoping for some good shit here.
I know that I've lived a relatively comfortable life.
Stop! Lucy! You need to go home. Vault dwellers are an endangered species. I do not think you would be willing to do what it takes to survive up here. If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
Uh-huh.
This music is great.
Yeah. They really captured the essence of the game.
Tomorrow, so they say, will be a lovely day. A bright new sun will suddenly break through. But I don't want to see tomorrow unless I see it with you. I grabbed a moldy one. I don't want to see tomorrow. I see
And it's in LA. Okay. So, Daimyo, first thoughts.
So initially, when I first saw this trailer, the kind of black pill in me was like, "Oh, female lead, this is going to be another woke disaster kind of situation." After I've watched it a couple times, they really do capture the world of Fallout, at least in the trailer. There are a few things I'm nervous about, like the female lead thing, and I don't think it's outright quote unquote woke yet. But we kind of have to wait to see how the show goes. In terms of that, you know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree. I think the concept of a female protagonist is not woke in of itself.
Yeah.
The problem becomes when studios try to insert the message, or they sit there and they're like, well, we're going to make sure that everyone knows that she's had a really, really hard life, and everyone hates her because she's a she. And I don't really get that from this trailer. I'm going to be intrigued to see how because Fallout in and of itself is a RPG. You upgrade shit, you get better stats and all that. And so I'll be curious to see if they do some sort of stat thing with them.
As we've seen from previous video game recreations in live action television, they don't really they don't take aspects of a video game, right, and put it in. They kind of just take the story and recreate
True.
it into a television show. There's one minor nitpick I want to make. So when she's talking to the mutated guy with the one eye, the Cyclops looking guy.
Right here.
Yes. So if you can see, if you can fast forward a little bit past
Yeah.
that, so you can see the
Yeah.
window.
I see it with you.
And pause.
And grab.
What does that look like to you behind him in the window? Does that look like outside or in the vault?
I think it kind of looks like in the vault.
Okay, and that's where I wanted to make this distinction, because there was only one, at least in the games, and I forget exactly which one it was, but there's only one vault where like the radiation started to affect the people and mutate them inside the vault itself. Other than that, all of the mutated
And they've already
people,
told that story.
That's true,
Right.
but we don't know in the timeline where this lands, do we?
Well, no. So what I'm saying is, so if they've already told that story, that means that this is the story that they're telling in this show. So this is going to be based off of one of the games instead of the thematic game itself.
Well, and that you bring up a good point. This could very well be the vault that I'm talking about, where the radiation sicknesses started to mutate people. But if it's not, and they're just trying to get the point across that there are mutated people like the ghouls and whatnot, like it's just it's gonna feel kind of like they missed something, you know?
Yeah. So real quick, let's talk about what we see here. So obviously this is the front door of a vault. I'm assuming just before she decides to leave the vault.
I know that I've lived.
I've got to say, it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks, if I'm remembering correctly, they definitely took a creative liberty here. It looks a little different, but again, it could be different vaults. Like, from what I remember, it was almost like you cranked one of those doors where you kind of like in a boat, like in a large, military ship, like you turn a wheel and you open the door, like the hatch style. But
Did you play the new one?
I didn't.
76?
I didn't play 76 just because I saw how bad the reviews were.
Yeah, my understanding is that Fallout 76 is supposed to be literally about the Vault 76. And maybe what they're doing is they're taking the designs of the later games, since they're newer and probably a little cleaner to design.
It could be the case. And I'd say that slightly educated before, because I've only played 1, 2, 3, and 4. I didn't even play New Vegas. So.
Well, again, that's more than I did.
Yeah. But look, like you were talking about before, the music sounds really good. That you do feel like you're in the Fallout universe when you start.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about like this shot right here. Like, I've complained a lot about different TV shows today, just kind of making everything too clean. And it's almost like they just go, okay, we just need ruins. I don't really care what they look like. We just need ruins. But this looks like someone put in the effort to make this look like shit.
It looks like 30 years roughly after a nuclear fallout, which is what it should look like.
And then I don't know why my space bar is working. We've got. I do really enjoy the skull right here. I think that's funny. So this is just outside Vault 33. I already know, there's accuracy here because they've got the little data pad on. I'm Santa Monica Pier. So we know this is taking place in LA.
I want to make the point though. I'm sure you've seen it in both video games and film and TV shows. There's this whole kind of post-apocalyptic theme going on right now.
Yeah.
And it gets overused.
It does, yes.
So they kind of need to nail it out of the park.
What do you think about the cockroach?
I think it looks fine. I don't have any issues with it in terms of CGI or anything. And the design looks fine.
Yep. A little creepy.
Those things, from what I remember, they're a bitch to kill. Like at first in the game.
Yeah.
When you don't have anything.
And I'll tell you, I think it's So there's only 2 or 3 other things I want to talk about real quick here. I do think it's interesting that they're talking about being the studio behind The Boys and Fast Delivery, and not being the studio behind Rings of Power.
I think that's
I
an
think they
optimism.
know they know how to get people targeted,
That
and
is interesting.
I think this is an intelligent move on their part. The Brotherhood of Steel, I think, looks incredible. The suits look really good.
Mhm.
This scene in of itself is a little silly, I think.
Yeah, I agree, and
But
it might not play out like that in the
yeah,
show.
but the point of this scene in the trailer is to show the suits and to
Yeah,
show
yeah.
that they did it right, and it looks like they have.
Look, and like I just said, everything's looking really crisp, like CGI
Mhm.
down to the design of this universe is looking good. The ghoul right here that you have
Yeah.
playing, it looks good. It's just how are they going to play the story out?
Yeah.
If they do the whole, if she actually struggles throughout the whole show, and they really show how difficult it is to survive on your own out in the fallout, I will be okay with it. Now if she's just going around whooping everyone's ass and beating the shit out of a guy that's 3 times her size, I'm gonna have some issues with that, right? Just because that's just not logical.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and I'll have issues with it if it's a physical beating of the ass. If
Well,
it's
yeah, yeah.
if she's sitting 40 feet away shooting at him, well,
Well,
I don't really have a problem with that.
and by the same token, if she gets in the suit and starts murking people again, you can say you can say that that's woke if you want, but in reality, if she's in some big giant mechanical suit and
Yeah,
fighting a
then
dude that's
that's
not
kind of
in
how
one,
that's
it's
how those
just
suits work.
and look, like we were talking about before, it's not inherently woke that there's a female lead or protagonist. I will
Mhm.
say though, it's overused a lot, so I'm
Yes.
automatically skeptical
Yes.
about it.
I totally agree. It is very it's a trope that has become overused and oversaturated.
Yeah, and you better do it
So,
correctly if you want
yeah.
our attention
Mhm.
span, right?
Exactly. But overall, what do you if you had to give a number for, let's say, excitement level?
Well, by now I'm sure you guys know, kind of on the skeptical end of things, so probably like a 6.
Okay. Okay. I'm sitting at about 5,
Yeah.
mostly just because I haven't played the game.
And
Um,
yeah, I mean, look, I'm probably leaning towards a 5 as well, but I'm saying 6 because I've played the games and
yeah.
there's a level of excitement, but at the same time, we saw how The Last of Us went, and
Yeah, that's
there's a
true.
high possibility that they do something like that in there. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, everyone, thanks so much for coming by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Head over to the Gatekeepers Daimyo and subscribe over there. And until next time, good luck.